Hi there. If you want to learn a lot about events in less than a few minutes, pause right now and watch this interview. My name is Maggie Perotin. I'm a business and leadership coach, and this is my guest.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea Lo, and I am an event planner extraordinaire.
Awesome. And we're both members of Business Advisory Networking Group, and this is a rapid fire interview with Andrea. Andrea, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay, so the first thing I want to know is why events? What made you start this business?
I love doing events because I love connecting people. I like talking to people. I'm a social butterfly, and I just love the energy and connecting people. So I thought events, and it has to do with marketing. So it's just something I love and I'm very passionate about.
Awesome. So now tell us, if I'm an introvert or I'm a person who doesn't go to many events, but I want to start, how do I make most of any event I go to?
So any event, whether it's a networking event or a singles event, because I
Yeah,
run both.
any.
Yeah, and actually a lot of introverts come out. And actually one of the things I do to even welcome them is just to actually recognize them and say, are there any introverts in the house? One, for me to know that they're there. But there is a phenomenon of like when you raise your hand and I ask them to look around the room
Mhm.
and I remind them that like you're not alone. And also that maybe you catch someone's eye like, oh, Maggie's also an introvert. One, I'm not alone. And two, now I know who I might approach, like, hey, are you nervous just like me? How are you coping with this? So that's one thing that I do for my events. But for the individual on how they can navigate
Mhm.
a social event. Well, first of all, I want to like say kudos that if you're even taking like, having that courage to go to an event, not just like get a ticket, sign up, and then showing up, which is a large part, which again, I acknowledge that at my events. Read the room, whether you take a moment, if it's at a bar or restaurant, grab a drink. It doesn't have to be alcoholic, but just something to give you a liquid courage. But there's something about like holding a drink and just you have something else in your hand. So if you're nervous, you can go and take a sip and have something versus standing awkwardly, like, I don't know what to do here. Like, I just feel weird. But take the time to read the room, whether you want to show up a little bit earlier and navigate the room. Because for a lot of you guys are nervous, you're stepping outside your comfort zone. So reading the
Mhm.
room, getting yourself comfortable with the room. And for some of you guys, right, it's like psychologically, you need to know where the washroom is, you
Yeah.
need to know where the exit is, and just familiarize yourself with the space, maybe say hello to the organizer so you just feel a little comfortable and at ease. And just read the room. And then I'd say find someone that you can connect with. So if you don't bring a friend, you went alone, but
Mhm.
just talk to someone, right away and find out, find something common about you. So again, you have at least, you feel like you have one friend and you can kind of be each other's like wing person potentially. And that also kind of creates that, I'm gonna say crutch, but someone that you can sort of
Mhm.
lean on if you're nervous. I could go on and on, but hopefully those are some good tips for you guys.
So good. So be early so you can get comfortable, get a drink, whatever you like, read the room, and then talk to one person at least, right? And go from there. Get
Exactly.
relaxed and go from there. I love it. Okay, so now a question that I have for you because you run a lot of events, right? Sometimes I look at the list of your events, I'm like, oh my God, this girl. So, how do you recharge? Your events go late, you have one after another, one after another. How do you recharge? What are your go to things?
I don't recharge. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, like, yeah, and a lot of friends, people who know me, they're like, you're just like an energizer bunny, and which it is. And fun fact, I don't actually drink coffee or tea really. So I
Mhm.
don't really need caffeine. It's honestly a natural energy. But
Mhm.
what I find is that when you love what you do, when you're truly passionate about it, and I honestly think, it is my calling and it's my purpose to connect people, and so I just naturally recharge and energize through when I see the results of, the fruits of my labor, when I see people
Mhm.
connect, when they make connections, when they make friends, if they find love, it just recharges me. But on a sort of physically charging
Mhm.
scale, honestly, like I Netflix at nighttime, it's like a Netflix marathon. So no matter how busy I am, I feel like, okay, if I just watch a bit of TV, and I call it like vegging in front of the
Yeah,
screen a
yeah.
little bit so I can just relax.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how I recharge.
I love it. And I agree with you. When we do something we're passionate about and we love, it does give us energy rather than drain. That's why I went into coaching. So I can do
Like
things
it
that
doesn't feel like
kind of
work, right?
fill
So
me up rather than drain me. Totally. So, hey, you mentioned a couple of times like a drink, like you don't drink tea, you don't drink coffee. So, what is your go-to drink during events or when you're relaxing?
when I'm out, I love Negronis or old fashions. Those are my drinks. If it's summertime, I will order an Aperol spritz. So those are my favorites. So if you want to buy me a drink, this is what this
That's
lady likes.
those are the ones to go. Okay, great. So now 3 tips for someone who's maybe organizing an event, but it's like first time for them, and this is like a side thing that they're doing. What are the 3 tips you would give them to have a successful event?
Oh, where do I start? 3 tips. First of all, the biggest challenge when doing an event is actually the venue.
Mhm.
So the venue is where you need to start first, because if you have no venue, you have nothing, right?
Yeah.
And because you can come up with a date, like let's say, Maggie, you and I are trying to do an event and we're talking about when we're free and all this stuff. Well, if we have no venue and it's an in-person event and you don't, it doesn't matter if you and I are free because the venue's not free, right? So the venue is where you want to start. And also because the venue impacts everything that you're designing, right? Like, is it a workshop? Is it an in-person networking mixer? Is it a singles event? So the layout of the venue, and if they're able to give you all the things that you need. So the venue is super, super important to start there.
Yeah.
Of course, knowing your budget and your sort of
Mhm.
financials, like how much you need to break even, what are you willing to invest in? Oftentimes some people start, requesting a meeting with me or they want to collaborate and they don't have maybe a budget in mind. And a budget could be, whether it's for the venue, could be for marketing, it could be anything, but knowing what you're willing to invest and what your budget is very important. And the third thing I'd say is knowing who your audience is, and knowing what your topic is, right? Because again, a lot of people are like, I just want to throw an event, I want to do an event. And I'm like, okay, for who? For what reason? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, for business owners. Okay, but like, what is the experience? Who is it for exactly? Is it young business owners? Is it business owners in a certain niche? And what are they going to do there? What's the experience? Is it a networking mixer? Is it a workshop where you're educating them? What do you want the experience to be? Again, I can go on and, with that, if you want to know more, you want to get more tips, let me know.
Yeah. Okay. Last question, and it's all about Bang, so Business Advisory Networking Group. What do you like the most out of it?
Oh, that's also a tough one. I'm going to first start off with giving, special thanks and kudos to Dave Berger, our leader from Bang, because he really makes this group different. And it's not just like a networking group with, like it was just a bunch of folks doing business and it's not, very personal. He really, is so warm, so genuine. He really cares about the group. He makes in-person meetings if someone's visiting out of town or if it's someone's birthday, he recognizes them. So that's something, admirable and inspiring to, like, it helps me remind him, hey, this is how I should treat my groups and my community. And on top of that, I've definitely gotten business and referrals from many, many Bang members. You and I have done several events together and I've gotten referrals. I've had lots of great one-on-one chats. So it's just a fantastic group to be a part of.
Definitely, I agree. And collaborations are great. The fact that, we've run events and we're planning to run events very shortly for business owners. So watch out for Andrea's website and the announcements in Bang because we have some great events planned for you. So thank you very much, Andrea. That was great. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.